As a composer for ABBA, Benny Andersson managed to write history, not just catchy songs. Let's see why he is iconic. Born Göran Bror Benny Andersson in Stockholm in 1946, he was surrounded by music from an early age, as both his father and grandfather enjoyed playing the accordion. The two men taught the young boy Swedish folk music, Schlager, and traditional music when he received his first accordion at the age of 6. Due to his love for music, he received a piano at age 10, which he learned how to play by himself. At the age of 15, he decided he wasn't going to become a civil engineer like his father and left school. Instead, he focused on performing at youth clubs. Here is where he would meet his first girlfriend, with whom he would become engaged, Christina Grönvall. When he was 16, he had his first child with Christina, Peter, followed by another one, Helen, 2 years later. Between the birth of his first two children, Benny joined rock band the Hepstars, just as it was becoming successful. They would release several hits, with Cadillac, Farmer John, and Sunny Girl topping the Swedish chart. Benny also wrote his first proper song during this time, No Response, after other Swedish rock bands accused them of not writing their own material. It became a top 10 hit in Sweden and Norway. Benny and Christina broke up in 1966, with her keeping the custody of their children. The same year, while touring Sweden, Benny met Björn Ulvaeus, a member of another popular band in the country, the Hootenanny Singers. The two hit it off and soon started writing songs together, eventually leaving their bands. Benny took part as a songwriter in the 1969 Melody Festival and competition, which determines the Swedish representative at Eurovision. His song, Hey Clown, placed second. This is where he met another contestant in the competition, Anni-Frid. Soon, the two would become romantically involved. Björn and Benny would release an album as a duo in 1970, notable for including the song Hey Gamle Man, the first song to feature all four future ABBA members. The next year, Benny would produce Frida's debut album. In 1972, the four artists would release their first official song together, credited to Björn and Benny, Agneta and anni-frid, titled People Need Love. Due to the success of the group, the four released an album together under the same name called Ring Ring. As the project did well commercially, the group changed its name to ABBA in 1973 and in 1974 won the Eurovision Song Contest with Waterloo. All ABBA songs would go on to have their instrumental composed by Benny, and all would be co-produced with Björn, with their manager Stig Andersson being involved sometimes. The only ABBA album to be produced only by Benny is their ninth one, Voyage. Throughout the 70s and early 80s, the band would dominate the charts with songs such as SOS, Dancing Queen, Take a Chance on Me, The Winner Takes It All, and One of Us. During this time, Benny was in a relationship with Frida, with whom he'd marry in 1978. They would separate 2 years later and divorce in 1981. The same year, Benny married Mona Norklid, with whom he'll have another son in 1982, Ludwig. Benny and Björn worked with Tim Rice on the musical Chess, which received mixed to positive reviews, although it would still receive 3 nominations at the Laurence Olivier Awards, including Best New Musical and 2 Tony nominations. It also enjoyed commercial success, and it still revived occasionally. 2 songs from the album, One Night in Bangkok and I Know Him So Well, would become big hits in the mid-80s. During the 80s, he also produced 2 albums for the group Gemini, and in 1987 released his debut album, which reached the top 10 in Sweden. In 1996, Benny and Björn released another musical, Kristina from Duvemåla, which is often revived even today in the Northern European countries. In April 1999, Mamma Mia had its debut on the West End. Benny and Björn were involved in the creation of the jukebox musical based on ABBA songs from the very beginning, while Frida also contributed financially. It's the 7th longest running show on the West End and the 9th longest running one on Broadway. In 2008, a film adaptation starring Meryl Streep was released and became the highest-grossing film ever in the UK. A sequel followed in 2018, which was also immensely popular. In 2001, Benny formed Benny Andersson's Orchestra, a dance band which released several chart-topping albums in Sweden. In 2013, Benny and Avicii composed the anthem for that year's Eurovision Song Contest. Around the same time, in 2011, the usual private Benny revealed that he suffered from alcoholism for much of his adult life, finally giving up alcohol completely in 2001. In 2021, ABBA reunited to release its first studio album since 1981. Voyage became a huge commercial and critical success, offering the group its first ever Grammy nomination for I Still Have Faith in You. So, now that we know a bit about Benny Andersson's life, let's see what makes him iconic. In Sweden, Benny is recognized for his work with the Hepstars, a band that is now seen by some as the Nordic response to the Beatles. But of course, nothing can compare to his work with ABBA, which as a writer helped it become the best-selling pop band in history. From the opening glissando in Dancing Queen to the melancholy of The Winner Takes It All, Benny was responsible for writing the music of the group, and boy did he deliver. Benny and Bjorn are ranked by Rolling Stone magazine as the 100th greatest songwriter ever, but since ABBA has always been underrated critically, I think it's safe to say the group could be ranked higher, much higher, without any problem. His talent for playing the piano and the keyboard is even more underrated than his ability to write music. Benny is also highly versatile. It's surprising to realize the same person wrote the instrumental for both Waterloo and The Day Before You Came. His writing style is rather straightforward. He sits in front of the piano and plays until the music feels right to the ear and soul. Of course, Benny and Frida's relationship and its subsequent breakdown plays a part in his legacy, with the song When All Is Said and Done being allegedly about the pair's breakup. 2022 represents 50 years since the official first release of ABBA, and how many other music writers can claim to still have this level of popularity half a century later? Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It means the world to me. Take care.